بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين جل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of causality. Al-Marhalatu Sabi'ah, the 7th section. And today we are talking about Al-Faslu Sabi' fil Illati al-Gha'iyya, the 7th chapter about the cause which is related to the end for which the agent or the efficient cause does something. The simple example, as you remember, was if you make a chair, okay, we said we can distinguish between 4 aspects. Someone makes the chair, we can call al-illatul fa'aliyah, the efficient cause, the agent, the doer. But why he makes the chair? What he has in his mind that makes him decide, that is called al-illatul gha'iyah. And that is actually the one that motivates the agent to do something. And then we said we have al-illatul maddiyah, material cause, which is the wood and nail, and al-illatul suriyah, which is the form of the chair. Of course, this was to simplify the issue. So, in last week, we talked about al-illatul fa'iliyah. And we mentioned there are different types of illatul fa'iliyah. On board also, I drew for you the diagram. As you remember, we said fa'il sometimes lahu ilmun bifi'lih. Sometimes he has knowledge and awareness about his action. Sometimes doesn't have knowledge. Yeah? If doesn't have knowledge, then we call it either al-fa'ilu bil-tab' or al-fa'ilu bil-qasr. If it is suitable to its nature, it is bil-tab'. If it is not, bil-qasr. But if he has knowledge, then there are different types. Yeah? Is this knowledge before or at the time of action? If it is at the time, then it's fa'il bil raza. It's before, then it is with additional motive or not with additional motive. It's that motive is essential or not. All different things that we said. So now we want to talk about that types of fa'il, those types of fa'il that have knowledge and they decide to do something. When they decide to do something, they should have al-illah al-gha'iyah. They should have something in their mind that makes them motivated to do this. Okay? Again, I remind you of what we said before, that al-illatul gha'iyah comes before ma'lul in your understanding and comes after ma'lul in happening. What does it mean? You say, I want to make a chair so that I can rest on it. When do you rest? After the chair is made. But your imagination, your consideration of having rest was before. Yeah? That is called illatul gha'i, not what happens afterwards. Al-illatul gha'iyah, the cause that motivates the agent. Actually, again, I remind you, alhamdulillah, we said this before. Actually, they say not only this is illa and has to be before, it is illatu fa'iliyat al-fa'il. Even this is the one that makes the agent do something. If agent didn't have this motivation, would not have done it. Illatu fa'iliyat al-fa'il. Okay? And then we had something, of course, this is just in brackets. We had this before in some aqaid discussions, that we said in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-illatul fa'iliyya and al-illatul qa'iyya are the same. Do you remember? What does that mean? That in him al-illatul fa'iliyya and al-illatul qa'iyya are the same. Because he doesn't do anything for something outside himself. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consider something outside himself and then does it? Then it means that he is influenced. So the first reason for doing something is himself. Okay, why he does something? Because of his love for himself. But then out of that, other things come. Okay, so we say Allah has created us for perfection. Allah has created us to test us. Allah has created us, to see who is good, who is bad. All the things that we say all come later. Otherwise, according to philosophers, in him, al-illatul gha'iyya and illatul fa'iliyya are the same. Means there is nothing outside his essence that would make him motivated. He's not influenced by anything outside. Yes.
There is actually nothing outside of him that we can even question anything.
There is something outside him, but anything outside him is created by him.
No, but in a way that isn't separate.
Yes.
So why is that question there when there's nothing outside of him, other than him?
No, first of all, there are creatures.
Yes.
Secondly, maybe someone says he has, for example, knowledge of things that are going to happen, and because of them he does things. Because he wants them. But we say, if you carefully examine this, you would realize that finally the ultimate end is he himself. To some extent, this can happen to us also, to some extent. For example, if you work to help people, or if you work to earn money, or if you work to become popular, these are all things which are outside your essence. But if you work because you, by your own nature and character, love this work, so you don't need any extra reason. Why you are doing this? Because this is my love. Yeah. In Aqaid, do you remember I said, if there is a teacher who loves teaching, and there are people that he can educate, then you shouldn't ask him why you are teaching. If he doesn't teach, you have to question him. That you love teaching, and there are needy people, why you don't teach them? Yes, but not selfish love. It's self-love, but not selfish love.
There are creatures and things to come, and because of his love, the things appear. But ultimately, when you said it is himself, it is he himself. So, if it is all he himself and he is the good existence, why does the question still arise?
No, question arises, but this is the answer. There's no problem in asking question. But you cannot question him. But you can ask him question. La yus'alu amma yaf'al. It doesn't mean that you cannot ask him question. Some people misunderstand it. They think, that we cannot ask him question. No, we can ask him question. As like angels ask God questions. أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ. But we cannot object. We cannot question him, because if you understand the way he decides and acts, you realize that there is no point in objecting. Can you question mathematics? Say, why 2 plus 2 becomes 4? You cannot question in the sense of objection. You can ask question for clarification, but not objection. Yeah? So if someone really understands, he would only ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for clarification, but even asking for clarification has some conditions. First, are you able to understand, or it's going to confuse you? You ask a professor for clarification what he is teaching his students. He says, my students are prepared. If I explain to you, you will be confused. Yeah? إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So, you ask for clarification, not objection, but if you are able to grasp it, plus if it is not going to harm you or other people. لا تسألوا عن أشياء إن تبد لكم تسؤكم. Sometimes you ask something you can understand. For example, I ask Allah, show me what is the reality of this person. Okay, maybe if I know the reality of that person, it would harm me, or it would harm our relation. So, and sometimes it's a test also. You can ask for clarification, but it's like you ask the teacher at the time of exam, can you clarify this question for me? You have to wait, because it's a time of exam. You have to find out. So, no question for objection to Allah, question for understanding, clarification, but still there are few things that you have to observe. Yes.
Life and death.
He asked him to show.
To show. Why did he
It's
ask
good.
Allah? I know you said that this is about you. This is a level, I think you said it was a level of your opinion or something. But why did he ask Allah this when, as a prophet, you know that Allah can do this and you accept it? That's it.
No. He didn't ask because he didn't accept. Actually, he had accepted it, but he wanted to see by himself, or as Allah says, he wanted to do it by himself. كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Because some people say, show me how you do it. But Allah says, it means, show me how to do it. How you do it means then how to do it. And this is why Allah didn't tell him, okay, sit there and I will show you. Allah made him able to do it. Yes? So this is a good question. This is a question for understanding and education. You can always say to Allah, please educate me. But never say, please tell me secrets. Because that might be good or not. Say if it is maslah. You shouldn't pray, No, please tell me secrets. Please tell me secrets. But you can always say, Rabbi zidni ilma. Increase my understanding, increase my knowledge, educate me.
In case of Hazrat you and his son,
Yes.
whenever you asked him,
That was a very polite and gentle sign of, yes, compliment. But very polite.
then he received a credit from Allah.
Yes. Because someone in his caliber should have understood these things already. Yeah. So,
then can you say, because Allah is Tajara, the Sheikh, so Galia and Failure is the same. It can't be different. Because of that, only one is sentence from the Quran.
no,
Would that be all right?
that's not about why. That is not about why. That's about how. Our question is why. Why he does things. What is al-illatul ghaiya for his actions? We say the first reason for his actions are his own perfect essence. That's the best reason. Yes? There are lots of course, discussions here. But this is different from being selfish. Being selfish is when you have weakness, you have need, and you want to use others to meet your need. This is quite opposite. This is because you have wealth, you have richness, you want to give. It's quite different from being selfish. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Is it possible for a human being to reach the state that he is not selfish?
Yes.
Is this what is possible?
No. We said it's very difficult.
So then that is a sense of self.
We said آخر ما يخرج من قلوب الصديقين حب الله. Is the last thing that goes out of the heart of truthful people, most truthful. But it's possible. Mukhlasin, they are pure completely. They don't have anything selfish. Oh, yes. Even, sometimes you see people who really love something. They become selfless. There are two things that make you selfless. One is love. One is to be drunk. And when you are drunk, you are selfless. And this is why mystics use this for love. Because a lover is not thinking about himself. People think he's mad because he has no consideration for himself. Is it like a... Yes.
In that hadith of the Holy Prophet, Kalimun philosophy and what?
مشغول بالعقمة مشغول بالمولى.
So how do we get to be selfish understanding of this?
So those who are busy with dunya or uqba, still they are thinking about their own benefit. Either to avoid harm or to draw interest. But those who are mashghul bil mawla, means they are busy and preoccupied with mawla, means they are selfless. And in this way, actually they gain more. But they don't worship to gain. Yes? They worship because this is something that they have great desire for it. Yeah? Like an artist, a true artist, not people who are making art for money or income, whatever. A true artist, if you ask him why you do this, what would he say? says, I cannot stop doing this. This is my love and passion. It comes. I don't want to gain anything. Yeah? If you want to gain something, then it's not genuine art. Genuine art should flow from yourself. Just comes out. Otherwise, it's forced. It's fabricated. It's not natural. Okay. الفصل السابع في العلة الغائية. 7th chapter is about علة غائي وهي الكمال الأخير. The last perfection الذي يتوجه إليه الفاعل في فعله. The last perfection, the last good thing, because there can be different things as a hierarchy. But the ultimate end that the fa'il, the efficient cause, considers for doing the action. Why you ask this? He may say something, then something else, but the last one. For example, why you are studying, you say, I study because I want to go to higher class. I want to graduate. Then say, I want to get a job. I want to be paid. Finally, you say, what's your last reason? Some people say, no, I want to learn because I want to get knowledge and understanding to serve better. Why you want to serve better? Because I want to get closer to Allah. So at the end, this question stops somewhere. There cannot be tasalsul. Yeah, doro tasalsul cannot be there. Something at the end is your ultimate end. So al-kamalul akhir, the last perfection that the agent considers in his action. فَإِنْ كَانَ لِعِلْمِ الْفَاعِلِ دَخْلٌ فِي فَاعِلِيَّةِ. If the knowledge of the fa'il, the agent, bears on his being fa'il, on his agency, كانت الغاية مرادة للفاعل في فعله. That end is intended by him in his action. وَإِنْ شِئْتَ فَقُولْ. If you like, you can say in this way. In other words, كان الفعل مرادا له لأجلها. You can say it in this way. This action is intended by him because of this ghaya. Why you do this? Because of this. وَلِهَذَا قِيلَ. And this is why it has been said, إِنَّ الْغَايَةَ مُتَقَدِّمَةٌ عَلَى الْفِعْلِ تَصَوُّرًا وَمُتَأَخِّرَةٌ عَنْهُ وُجُودًا. Ghaya, the end, precedes action in understanding, tasawwur. You first comprehend ghaya and then you do it. But muta'akhiratun anhu wujudan, but in existence comes after. You think of having rest on the chair, you make the chair, then resting comes afterwards. Actual resting comes after. But tasawwur istiraha, that's before. And that tasawwur is illat ghai, not actual resting. Actual resting comes afterwards. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لِلْعِلْمِ دَخْلٌ فِي فَاعِلِيَّةِ الْفَاعِلِ. If knowledge does not bear on agency of fa'il, because either fa'il has no ilm, or even if it has ilm, the ilm is not relevant. Yeah? Fa'il bil-tab', fa'il bil-qasr, there is no knowledge basically. Even a child or someone who is sleeping, his soul is running the body for example. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لِلْعِلْمِ دَخْلٌ فِي فَاعِلِيَّةِ الْفَاعِلِ. If knowledge has no relation or doesn't bear on agency of the agent, كانت الغاية ما ينتهي إليه الفعل. Here we don't call it illat gha'i. We say غاية. The end is what? The end is what this action is leading to. Because there is no knowledge and no knowledgeable agent. So you cannot say something motivated him. Basically, what is the end of this action? For example, you put an apple seed in the soil. It grows, becomes apple tree, and then bears flowers and then fruits. There is a movement, harakah, from that seed till it becomes a tree. There's a movement. Can we say there is illat gha'i for this tree or this seed? Illat gha'i. No, because this seed has no way to decide and say, because of reaching that point, I want to become fruitful tree. There's no illat gha'i. But this doesn't mean that this seed has no ghaya, has an end. This movement, because in movement we always need mabda and muntaha. We need beginning and end. So just we don't say, because there were some philosophers who used to say everything has illat gha'i. But we say no. There is an end for their movement, but it's not intended before because they don't have knowledge, or their knowledge is not relevant, even if they have knowledge. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لِلْعِلْمِ دَخْلٌ فِي فَاعِلِيَّةِ الْفَاعِلِ كَانَتِ الْغَايَةُ مَا يَنْتَهِي إِلَيْهِ الْفِعْلُ. Then غاية, we don't say إِلَّةِ غاية. غاية, the end is what the action would end with. Where the action ends. وَذَلِكَ أَنَّ لِكَمَالِ الشَّيْءِ نِسْبَةً ثَابِتَةً إِلَيْهِ. Perfection of something has a fixed relation with it. فَهُوَ مُقْتَضٍ لِكَمَالِهِ. So everything has a kind of iqtiza for its own perfection. What does it mean? It means there is a kind of, entitlement. There is a kind of desire for moving towards that end. Iqtiza means entitlement. But you have to be very careful. We don't want to say this is understood or this is done by purpose or whatever. Just inside everything, there is a kind of direction put. Yeah, that this apple seed knows where it has to go. Yeah, everything has something as a direction. This is hidayat takwini. أن لكمال الشيء نسبة ثابتة إلى perfection, for the perfection of everything, there is a fixed relation with it. فهو مقتضٍ لكماله. This is entitled by its perfection. ومنعه من مقتضاه دائما أو في أكثر أوقات وجوده قصر دائمي أو أكثر. Sometimes this seed is eaten by a bird, or it is spoiled inside the soil. It is too much water, whatever. So it's not that every apple seed becomes tree. Okay? But what's the problem? Is it because that seed which became tree was different from this seed? No, they were not different necessarily. Both of them have that iqtiza, but sometimes an obstacle happens. Something stops them from this journey. This is qasr. You remember fa'il bil qasr? I said qasr with sin means external intervention. Yes. So something from outside stops this, for example, embryo to grow or this seed to grow. Okay? But philosophers say qasr cannot be always or usual. القصر لا يكون دائميا أو أكثريا. What does it mean? It means that if Allah has put a potential in something, has given also direction to it to reach that potential. If it is left to itself, external factors can come and interfere. But this would not be 100% of the time or 90-80% of the times. Yes, just something that happens accidentally, like illness. There are human beings who are ill, but it's not that all people are ill or most of people are ill. Okay? If you consider most of people in all ages, then they are healthy. But occasionally, or some people become ill. If you consider apple trees, 90% of them, for example, 80% of them, they bear fruits. But maybe 10% of them don't bear fruits. Okay? So, this is very important thing. I mentioned that qasr, you can use it in tarbiyah, this concept. That when there is external force, it cannot last forever or for most part. Therefore, you have to make things internalized. Yeah? Why you come few years to madrasa or hawze? There are two views. Some people say, we go few years to madrasa, hawze, teacher, exam, registration. After that, we become free. Then we do what we like. But we say no. You go few years to madrasa so that pressure of teacher, admin, registration, exam, make you free from need for external pressure. You will then, day and night, love to study. If it is proper tarbiyah. So when teachers disappear, you carry on. But if tarbiyah has not been internalized, when teacher disappears, they close the book and start playing. Understand? So you have certain time to make sure that this intervention is internalized. Otherwise, you cannot keep it as intervention forever. So, منعه مقتضاه من مقتضاه دائما أو في أكثر أوقات وجوده, to stop him from what it is entitled to all the time or most of the time, قصر دائمي أو أكثري, it becomes a permanent or usual external intervention. ينافي العناية الإلهية, which would conflict with divine favor, divine provision. What is divine favor and provision? بإيصال كل ممكن إلى كماله الذي أودع فيه. And that is to make every contingent being reach the perfection that has been deposited into it as potential. Yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in each of us instruction and image of what we can become. If you can become a great alim, the instruction for that and the image of that great alim potential is here. I mean by image, potential. So if someone's eyes are open, when you can look at someone, can see how he is and how he was and how he can become. Like for example, if you are an expert on, for example, calligraphy or singing, if you are expert and have lots of experience, by being a little with someone, you see his situation, you can see how much progress he has made, but you can also see the potential in him. So this person has great potential. This person is better to go for other things. Okay? So, potential is not just something which is not there. Potential is something which is there, but has not yet unfolded. You understand? It's very important. Yeah.
So the divine faith and provision is for everything contributing to use its potentiality.
Mm-hmm.
That which is inside, is being placed inside.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So
أودع في or أودع في استدعاءه, inside every mumkin is deposited. استدعاء, the call for it is deposited. فلكل شيء, if you let me just finish, then I am at yourself. فلكل شيء غاية. So everything has an end. But what is that end? Something that intended? No. Because maybe they don't have knowledge. But it has an end. هي كماله الأخير الذي يقتضي, is the last perfection that this is entitled to. وأما القصر الأقلي. But in some cases, minority of cases, we accept that external intervention may stop it. A bird comes, illness comes, but qasr aqalli is something that in this world is natural. Because this world is not perfect world. Okay? وَأَمَّا الْقَصْرُ الْأَقَلِّ فَهُوَ شَرٌ قَلِيلٌ. It's not شَرٌ كَثِير. It's a little bad thing. But يَتَدَارَكُهُ, what compensates for it is مَا بِهِذَائِهِ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ الْكَثِيرِ. What is opposite to this from abundant good. If 5%, 10% of apple seeds are wasted or spoiled, at least we have 80%, 90% who become apple trees. وَإِنَّمَا يَقَعُ فِي مَا يَقَعْ فِي نَشْأَةِ الْمَادَّةِ. Why this sharr qalil happens in this material world? بِمُزَاهَمَةِ الْأَسْبَابِ الْمُخْتَلِفَةِ. Because of conflict of different causes. This bird wants also to grow. Apple seed wants to grow, bird also wants to grow. So the bird may take this apple tree. So it's not that this is something which is not planned or out of control, but everything is planned. The thing is that because so many things happen, you cannot expect 100% success for all of them. Because if it is 100% success for all of them, they cannot succeed. Because this has to use that has to use this. But what is important, if there is a natural cycle, birds can grow, animals can grow, plants can grow, human beings can grow, everyone can grow without blocking others. But if there is greed, then ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
There's one question